What's going on, guys? It's Ricky with TechBud Solutions. So just another recap on today's trading. I normally don't go live. I did it on Friday. You guys really enjoyed it. I asked you guys right now in the group chat, and you guys really wanted to. So if you guys aren't a part of TechBud Solutions, the link is provided for you down below. It's a free networking group. The link will take you to our Facebook platform. You simply have to ask to join. Once you get accepted, on our top pin post there is a series of 5 different links to our group chats, which are also free, and it pretty much allows you access to network with over, I believe now, 12,000 members worldwide, all over the world, both experienced and beginners. And the best thing that we do is share best practices, share our mistakes, and effort to promote growth. One of the things that within our group that we did somewhat, I did see today, is I think the more experienced traders within our group were encountering very repetitive questions. And if you guys think that you guys get frustrated as, just experienced traders, just only imagine how the rest of us feel, right? As in, I've been doing this for about a little bit over a year now within TechBud Solutions, and I answer about the same question, maybe 50 to 100 times within a week. But it really comes down to what's the purpose of this group. This purpose is to help one another out, and you kind of have to understand that the role that I'm playing within this group is to help people out. In no way does that mean that you have to do the same. I just want to ask you guys, if you guys can, if you don't want to answer the questions, feel free. You definitely don't have to. But if you have extra time on your side and you know that it's someone that's just getting started, I would suggest to not discourage them, right? Especially within our group chat, because we really want to help them out. And this member didn't see that, hundreds of other times that this question was being asked. You can simply refer them to the helpful videos that we have within our YouTube channel, or actually answer the question yourself. And with that, then you could be labeled as someone that can be respected within our group, that's knowledgeable and experienced as well. So we could help, both you and the new member out. But okay, that's pretty much it for that. Let's go ahead and get started. On the recap, I'm up a little bit over $400 on JNUG and CCCR. I really wanted to be live when I was selling CCCR. It ended up just stop lossing out literally about, I think, 5 minutes before I went live, and I called it out within our group chat. I called out where my stop loss was, and that was at $2 and 2.049, and then it went below 205. And I'm going to talk to you guys about why I stop lost that. It looks like a couple of you are also locking in your profits for CCCR, and I do want to give a huge shout out to the member within our group. It was actually yesterday within our Sunday stock talk that I was exposed to the specific stock. Never before did I ever add it to my watch list. I added it to my watch list. I performed my technical analysis live for you guys. If you guys want to watch that Sunday stock talk, and I had my analysis laid out for me this morning, and it played out exactly as planned. I'm going to start sharing my screen so you guys can see exactly what it is that I'm talking about. And let me just start sharing my screen. And thank you guys again for putting time aside and joining us for today. Okay, so this is CCCR. This is pretty much the 2-day analysis that I had for you guys yesterday. And pretty much what I was able to identify was that overall, we talked about the stock being overpumped, right? It came from like $1, right above $1, about, I believe it was like 2 days ago. It really saw no volume and then saw a huge increase in volume, and it hit a highs of 270. We're slowly going to see this staircase down, but based on this previous bounces that it's had, from the $1.80 back to the $2 mark, it's done it consecutively, and it's done it, once, twice, and then what I was looking for was, I said after hours, if we see it hold above $2.20, that could be a good sign that, we could be trading within 220 to 240, which is, right there alone, your 10% profit. But now it broke below 220 during pre-market hours. As you can see, it was splitting back down, but now it was still showing support above this 180 mark, meaning that based on this previous trend, we're most likely going to see a bounce. Again, it's never 100%. And one of our members within our group is like, no one can predict a stock to 100%. I completely agree on that. And that's why penny stocks or stocks altogether are risky, right? But with risk comes reward if you plan out, accordingly. And what I mean by that was, again, if I can identify that the previous support was at 180, the previous resistance was at 220, what am I going to do? Well, I got in, I got alerted when it went below the 220 mark. I got alerted when it went below the $2 mark, and it took a huge dip down. It bounced right at this 180. It went up and it came back down. I actually didn't buy in until this point where I saw it completely with the volume, actually with the volume was actually very low, and I ended up getting filled at 185, and it was right above EMA. It was showing signs of strength. So what was my risk going into this? Well, my risk was I lose 5 cents because I had my stop loss set at 1.799, meaning my risk was very low. My reward was a lot higher. By doing that, I knew my potential for profit was ideally and realistically 220. So once it hit 220, because of what I was doing and because I was preoccupied, my alerts were set off, but I didn't remove my stop loss and I didn't put my limit order. Now my stop loss was set a lot higher. I was a little bit busy throughout the morning. I went to go check out a certain vehicle that I was thinking of purchasing, and because of that, I was preoccupied. That's why I tell you guys it's very important to stay up to date with whatever it is that you guys are trading. It hit this 220 resistance, and realistically, was that weird that it hit 220 and it couldn't break above? No, that's completely just what you should expect because of this previous resistance. It really couldn't hold above 220. Has it broken above it? Yes, of course. Well, it hit highs of 240, but realistically, what should have been my entry and exit point? It was 180 and exit at 220. Ended up exiting out at 205. So again, 10% profit is what I met today, simply by understanding and exposing myself to an opportunity that was, talked about within our group, TechBud Solutions, that I did a technical analysis live for you guys when I was first exposed to this stock, and I set up a plan there. And then what did I do this morning? I set up my plan and I stayed according to this. This could have taken a huge dip, below 180, and I would have stop lossed out. But again, my margin for loss was a lot less than my margin or potential for profit. And that is realistically why I wanted to sell at 220, or why I saw so much potential. Now it's the reason I ended up selling at 205 was because if you get a little bit closer, you actually see that it started kind of flatlining and started seeing these lines at that 205. Or I'm so sorry. Let me get a little bit closer. You can see that the volume really started to die down. And it went back up to almost highs of 215, but the volume that it had, during the first 30 minutes of market open were amazing. The market or the stock itself, or CCCR, really saw a decrease in volume. And because of that, we're slowly going to see it start staircasing down, especially if we see big sellers. And that's exactly what happened. Ended up going right below the 205, and then I stop lossed out, locked in my profits, and it was a little bit over $320. So, amazing trade for that. And again, nothing fancy that I did. You guys saw when I was exposed to this, you guys saw my plan of buying in at 180, trying to sell at 220, and again, support, resistance, and cutting losses short. So my margin for profit was there, and that's really just it. Now going to JNUG. JNUG was one that I saw potential in, just like NUG what's it called? NUGT. But the reason I went in for JNUG was just because it's a smaller cap stock. NUGT is trading at $10, and JNUG is trading at $6. Therefore, my percentage for profit, percentage for potential growth, is a little bit easier to achieve because it's a smaller cap stock. So I knew that there was going to be a support at 660. The reason why is because, it bounced at 655 based on the support that I had pre-market hours, and it did just that, right? Friday, where it bounced, it had a pretty good support at 655 as well. So it played out pretty well. So what was my margin for loss? Well, this one isn't necessarily a penny stock. Well, it's a ETF, right? And it's a bull ETF, meaning that it does well when our economy doesn't. And although it had huge shifts, meaning that it was really high on Friday, most likely meaning that it was going to have pretty much a green day today, because it didn't have much more to lose. Therefore, it identified the support here at the 655, and then that's when you decide to jump in. So I ended up jumping in at an average first at $6.65, and then I jumped in once again once it came back down, and I averaged that at $6.70, and then my average ended up being at $6.66. So now I'm up, a little bit over 10 cents with the current price right now at 677. And we saw resistance first at 680 and then at 690, but it definitely does have potential to exceed that. It really comes down to how it plays out. I'm not going to be holding this one overnight. So once it breaks above 690, I'm simply going to set my stop loss and see how that plays out. But overall in the day, even with how JNUG currently stands, I'm up a little bit over $400. And I was preoccupied. I was doing certain things, but I was able to trade a certain way because I understood my risk. I understood the stocks that I was getting into because of just the proper plan. And I think, let me start sharing my screen. I think when it comes down to a lot of the questions that we get within our group, and it's like, should I hold this one overnight? What stock should I trade? What stock should I hold? If you're asking those questions, and in no way do I mean to like subjugate you or want to discourage you, but that shows a sign that you don't truly understand what it is that you're getting into, or you don't truly understand investing. And there's nothing wrong with that. It just means that you have to study a little bit more because I want to make sure that you as an investor can identify that yourself. And although, these are the beginning stages and that's totally understandable, that's why you have this group. So instead of asking, what should I trade, or, should I hold this overnight? It should be like, or what do you guys think about this stock? And then you can see what other people are saying about certain stocks and make your own judgment. In no way should you ever go based on anyone else's opinion, but being open-minded and letting other people's input, just being exposed to that is definitely not a bad thing. But that's really just it. I really want to encourage you guys to learn as much as you can. If it's from my YouTube channel and my content, but from as well as there's multiple videos out there. Just make sure that they're not trying to manipulate you, and make sure that you don't make your just final judgment based on someone else's opinion. And that's really just it. So thank you guys again so much for tuning in for our live recap. If you guys like this more than just our regular recap so I can answer some of your questions, then feel free to let me know. I will answer one question. Let me just go ahead and tune into the live chat. Let me see if I can do it. Alrighty, so I am live, and let's see what you guys are saying. All right, if you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. But it doesn't look like you guys have any questions. So overall, if you guys want to be a part of TechBud Solutions, the link is provided for you down below. And if you guys saw, we did break 8,000 subscribers. So if you guys want to subscribe, we do upload daily recaps, and I'm going to upload a helpful video today, meaning that it's a common question or a question that I've been asked to make a video for. So if you guys have any questions or suggestions, don't put them on the live chat, put them in the comments so I can actually see them, because this live chat kind of goes away when I don't see it, or DM me through the group chat. And that's really just it. I can't thank you guys enough for being, the reason that TechBud Solutions exists. If it weren't for you guys, I want to make sure that you guys know that this wouldn't be possible, right? I'm just the face of this group, and I'm the one that, in a sense, manages it. But it would not be possible with each and every one of you and how you guys, put in your own input. And that's the thing that makes, I think, so great and so ideal for beginners and experienced members, because the whole point of networking is sharing best practices and sharing mistakes in an effort to promote growth. And I want to make sure that we stay close to that. So that's really just it. I'm going to answer. I'm going to go ahead and answer. And one of you I'm going to answer some of your guys' questions. One by David Granado says, can you do a live trade on YouTube and explain as you go? That's definitely something that we're going to be working on, especially once we launch our platform. But it's not going to be through YouTube. It's going to be only through our TechBud Solutions platform once we do end up launching, and then we'll post the recap on YouTube. But that's definitely something that we are going to be doing. And then Cheeky Farmer says, I have a question above of kids investing. So do I like the idea of kids investing? Definitely. I think the earlier you expose yourself to, as long as you understand that it's going to take time and you're realistic with the growth, I think exposing yourself at an early age, like myself, can lead to a healthy life when it comes to investing. The more you learn, the better you'll be. And if you can start at an early age, then you have a higher chance or higher probability of being successful or more knowledgeable in this market. Doesn't mean that you're going to be a multimillionaire, but it means that you can be savvy in a certain market that can make you live a financially free life. And that's definitely something that a lot of you guys are showing signs of. One of you guys were saying that I should buy a classic car next. I'm not too into that. I usually buy a certain car or item to sell for a profit, and I don't understand that market too well. What is the best broker for a mobile device since I don't have access to a PC? That's an amazing question, John Page. What I would suggest is TD Ameritrade. I did encounter an issue with their platform this morning, and I still don't have access to live quotes. So I've been going based off solely alerts, which is very difficult. That's why I didn't go too crazy. With what I ended up locking in today is solely based on experience and setting up a plan prior to investing or prior to making the decision to jump on in. I did not, didn't want to chase a stock or anything like that. I wanted to make sure that I was solid and knew what I was getting into. So TD Ameritrade has a really nice platform, and I'm going to actually make a video solely on that platform for the mobile application as well as the desktop application, as well as Robinhood is pretty useful as well for buying and selling. Other than that, their graphs aren't very useful. Is there a specific industry you have on your watch? Not industry, but I would call it more, well, I don't know. It's gold. Gold, I think, is going to be something that's going to be, I think, doing pretty well within the next couple of months because of the shifts and possible corrections within our economy. And then Cheeky Farmer says, thank you for the answer, Ricky. Of course, Car Watcher says I'm getting the Lamborghini. I am not. No, I still have my Z06. I'm not too sure. I'm thinking of keeping it, but if something does end up happening, I'll probably sell it. I'm not too sure. But I'm actually thinking of buying a bike, and I filmed the whole thing, met up with a guy, ended up. So you guys just stay tuned for the video. All my roommates have bikes. If you guys didn't see or haven't seen yet, I post on my social media. The link is provided for you down below for my Instagram, I think, all the way in the bottom, if you guys want to follow me. But on my stories, I post us cruising all the time with their bikes and my Z06. And I always feel like I'm just tagging along, and I kind of want to be a part of that. And, especially if I can make a profit off of it. So I've been trying to learn as much as I can with these bikes, and it goes, hand in hand because it's so perfect of, okay, well, I can understand this market, but ride a bike, have fun, and then sell it for a profit. But you definitely want to make sure that you're safe. So I actually have all the money like right here to buy the bike. I didn't mean to. I actually wasn't planning on showing you guys, but that's pretty much it. Kyle says Ricky's four-wheeling while they're two-wheeling. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them down in the comments. Again, not in the live chat. And I can't thank you guys enough for being, the most amazing group and the most amazing people that I get to, wake up every morning to and work with. And it's definitely a true blessing. I hope you guys have an amazing day. And please tag me within our group chat if you guys have any questions or any suggestions. Hope you guys take care. Bye.